them wobble and wiggle and slide.
And it is an awesome show.
Try and gather it up, but he's lost it.
Oh, look at the rear lockup on Lofton. Sideways.
That was awesome. That was a hard-fought race.
Smash!
Justin Lofton has won the only 2 road course races of the year in the Stadium Super Truck Series. The inaugural season for the Speed Energy Stadium Super Truck Series is almost over. The championship still up for grabs.
It's going down to the last race of the season.
And we're down to just 3 points.
Whoa!
This year, the 600 horsepower trucks have gone all across North America.
Ron Mack takes the checkered flag.
Raced on all different surfaces. He goes deep on the brakes, on the inside, gets it sideways, and all types of venues. Checkered flag is out for the teenager Sheldon Creed.
Look at that.
Inside.
This is the race for the championship.
Whoa!
Lofton with a mistake.
Oh, he spun it. Rob McCackran leads Robbie Gordon by just 3 points going into tonight's season finale.
Whoa!
It's the Speed Energy Stadium Super Truck Series from the Las Vegas Strip next. And then there was one. It is the season finale of Robbie Gordon's Stadium Super Truck Series for 2013. This is the 14th and final round. Hi folks, great to be with you. Lee Diffie along with Brian Till and Kelly Savas. And Brian, what a location to race off-road trucks.
I mean, look at that, looking down the Vegas Strip. It's going to be spectacular. This track is short, it is tight, it is technical. It's going to be awesome, Lee.
People are celebrating for a variety of reasons because off-road trucks are on the Vegas Strip. However, there will be further celebrations going on later tonight because we will be crowning a champion. And it's going to come down to 2 drivers, Rob McCackran, Robbie Gordon. Look how tight it is.
3 points right now, but there are passing points at stake. With the inversion, there'll be some points given away. It's up in the air.
Man, right in the middle, right in the spotlight is Robbie Gordon. He's with Kelly.
Robbie Gordon sits just 3 points out of the championship lead, but tonight it's now or never. Robbie, this is your series. How badly do you want to be its first ever champion?
You know, this is a dangerous situation. Obviously, I want to win the championship. I want to take home the bucks, but at the same time, you know, I want good competition, and Rob has kept me honest all year long. I mean, to come down here after 14, this will be 14 rounds, and be 3 points apart is quite crazy. But, you know, Rob's been one of my biggest rivals for years in off-road racing, and we do battle at Baja, we do battle at Parker, we'll do battle here in Las Vegas, and I'm just really stoked that we got the opportunity to come here and have our final race at Caesar's Palace. You know, this is epic.
Yeah, we're just standing right in front of the Coliseum here, just off the Strip. I mean, it must feel almost surreal.
It's almost scary. You know, I was scared about on Monday, and then last night I started to get really scared because I just want to do a good job. I want to be a good promoter. I want the fans to really enjoy it. But at the same time, I got to win the championship. So there's a fine line of when do we cross over. And I've got some really good guys. I got John Story that came back on board, Sean Sermini, who's our event operations, John Bilecki's who's doing the television. It's been a good year, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
All right, if there's one word that people use to describe the track, it's tight. Incredible atmosphere, tight track. How is it going to play out tonight?
I'm sure it'll come down to carnage. I'm sure it's going to come down to the trucks lasting. It'll be the longest main event we've run all year long. It'll be a 30-lap main event, so it's going to be chaos. And guys are going to have to pace themselves, and it'll be a Baja 1000 style main event. But we will throw some halfway cautions like they do in the Lucas Series and in the Torque Series, just to keep the racing close, so that the audience and the fans and spectators on television get a good show.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Robbie.
Thank you.
And we will hear from his rival and fellow competitor and championship leader, Rob McCackran, coming up in the show in just a little while. Good crowd, because this is truly unique, isn't it? To see short course off-road trucks on the asphalt, on the strip. And let's go for the opening heat. Let's show you some highlights, because it was Keegan Kincaid who got away to a great start.
Got away to a great start, but it only lasted one lap, Lee. Over the jump as you come through the arch there, just lands hard on the left front. The truck digs in. You want to turn left to get it back on four wheels? You can't. because there's a concrete wall to the outside.
Filling in the Traxxas truck for Mike Jenkins this week is Keegan Kincaid. Remember, he filled in for Rob McCachran at Costa Mesa at the last round. So that left the monster machine of Kyle LeDuc out in front.
And LeDuc, first race in the Stadium Super Truck Series, very accomplished off-road racer, but to come in, handle this truck, shorter wheelbase, narrow track, 600 horsepower, and on asphalt, does a stellar job. PJ Jones right behind him, pressed him the entire heat.
It's a first shot at some of the challenges. This is probably the most challenging corner and jump, and how you position your truck to get it through there and not to let that roll. So as we take a look at the results, it was Kyle LeDuc who prevailed in the end, but he was chased hard by PJ.
PJ Jones with another great run. Look for him, and maybe this is the last race of the season. Maybe this is one that he'll actually win. He's been close all year.
Let's hear from our opening heat winner. Kyle is with Kelly.
Kyle LeDuc came from essentially the back of the pack to win his heat race. Kyle, not a lot of passing out there, so how'd you get it done?
I was real patient, man. I don't know. There was a couple spots where they were crashing, and single file. Ari was good behind me, or PJ, whoever was behind me, didn't spin me out, but no, it was cool to get a win. First heat race, first time racing these things, so I can't complain one bit.
In the main event.
Thanks.
Having a good time in Vegas, that's what it's all about. Highlights of Heat 2, Robbie Gordon starting up front with guess who? Rob McCachran right behind him.
Well, and these heat races are important too. You see him that jump over the flower bed, and they're important because they're points on the line. And for Robbie Gordon, he finishes in front of Rob Mack. He's going to gain 2 points in the championship.
And he drove all the way to see the checkered flag first.
Well, with the inversion, Robbie Gordon now starts in the second row right behind Rob McCachran. It's the guy you need to get by to win this champion and win this race. How do you get it done?
30 laps here at Caesars is going to be downright crazy. I think it's going to be total carnage, so I'm going to go after it like a Baja 1000 and try to be there at the end of the race, and we'll let it play out. You know, at that second caution, we'll get to see where we're at, stack it up to them, and we'll see where Rob's at and keep a close eye on him.
Thanks, Robbie.
Thank you.
So those opening 2 heats done. Robbie Gordon, Rob Mack, Sheldon Creed, your top 3 from heat race number 2. As we promised you earlier in the show, we need to hear from the championship leader. Can he stay in that position? Rob McCachran is standing by with our Kelly Stavist.
Well, Rob, with the inversion, you now start just ahead of Robbie Gordon, the guy you're battling for the championship with. He told me earlier that he might have a couple new lines in mind, but how confident are you that you can hold him off?
Well, you know, this track has shown that's very hard to pass, so we just got to stay calm, smooth, consistent, and hold our line, and hopefully no one ends up taking us out. It's the main event, last race probably of the year. Everybody wants to win, and we got to be clean. We want to take home this championship for Traxxas, and you know, all the guys that worked so hard for it. We've led the championship all year, but one round, we'd like to go home with it tonight. Thank you.
Effectively, just 1 point is what Rob McCachran has over Robbie Gordon as they head into the final league.
Couldn't ask for it to be any better. It's the season finale of SST on the Vegas Strip on NBC SN. We'll go racing when we come back. Caesars Palace and Stadium Super Trucks. They're 2 things you wouldn't commonly put together, but they are working beautifully this weekend in Vegas.
You know, I thought standing atop the steps at the LA Coliseum for Stadium Super Trucks Round 3 was about as dramatic a backdrop as we would find, but it's nothing compared to looking out at the Coliseum of Caesars Palace right here on the Las Vegas Strip. All the excitement that comes along with it, including tonight a championship. Just 2 guys remain in the title chase, Rob McCachran and Robbie Gordon. But tonight they'll face 10 other trucks. Each of those guys desperate to hit the jackpot here in Vegas and steal some of that spotlight.
And let's have a look at the lineup, Ryan.
Rob McCachran where he needs to be, Lee, and that is on the front row in front of Robbie Gordon. But Kelly talked about the other drivers that are out there. They don't care about the championship. Rob Mack wants to see some of those other drivers between himself and that number 7 of Robbie Gordon. If he's going to win this championship, that's what he needs.
Keegan Kincaid, we saw him have some difficulties earlier. He's starting a little further back. How about Scotty Steele? Young guy, big future ahead. Can he pull off a victory here tonight? Sheldon Creed, we've seen him win in SST this year, haven't we? Very talented teenager.
Very talented. There's another one, Jarrett Brooks, 16 years old. When you talk about Scotty Steele, 15, Sheldon Creed, Jarrett Brooks, 16 years old. And if we add them, I don't know, Jarrett, Sheldon up, we might get close to Robbie Gordon's age.
There's the boss, making sure he can see clearly.
And, you know, he's got to be nervous. You heard him say at the beginning, I was scared that all of this is going to come off right, but I've got to concentrate on my championship. Needs to put the promoter side out of it right now and focus on racing.
That's the view from PJ Jones, who is yet to win this year. He's had some good drives. And those onboard shots for me, Brian, as we look back from Rob Mack's truck, shows you how narrow this racing track is.
I don't recall another circuit being this narrow all the way around, and that's the thing. Certain other tracks had narrow areas, but this entire Caesars Palace circuit is very, very narrow indeed. Standing start, here we go.
Away for the season finale. And a great jump there from PJ Jones. He gets the jump on the Traxxas truck of Rob Mack, and isn't that an amazing shot up and over the hedges?
Yeah, but he does exactly what he needs to do. Rob Mack, that is, and that is he's got Jarrett Brooks between himself and Robbie Gordon, and Brooks looks like he had a problem, and now McCachran really beginning to pull away. Oh, talk about a problem.
Ari Lyondike Jr. sandwiched in the middle, Keegan Kincaid at the back.
And then that's the red of Scotty Steele, I believe. There it is, hung up with Ari Lyondike.
Ari's like, get going so I can get going. I'm stuck here. I'm just jammed in, and everybody comes to a halt.
Yeah, they're going to red flag, and they need to because the cars are all stuck together there. Ari Lyondike wants to get back into IndyCar racing. He's going to have to drive a little nicer than this. Kind of get a stack-up effect, and Robbie Gordon gets hit hard there by one of the trucks that was behind him. It was, oh, and there's Lyondike who gets hit by Kincaid. Now look at Gordon in the orange number 7. Man, LeDuc hits him hard on the left rear, and you got to be concerned about not only the suspension, but the drive axle there on the left rear with a hit like that.
And Scotty Steele was trying to get something going. He was trying to just to get that truck to turn, which is not very easy on this circuit. And that's the view that Kincaid had. So the Traxxas truck needs some help. I think we're going to see a little bit more of this kind of stuff tonight, just because of the nature of the track.
Robbie said it was going to be carnage. You're on board with Kincaid. Look at this hit. There's one. Let's count them.
Well, that was earlier. That was earlier when he hit Ari Jr.
And then he almost lands in the bed. Missed that one. 2, 3. There's going to be another one. Looking out the back of Ari Lyondike's truck.
Boy's not playing well. Boy's not playing nice in the season finale. This is rough. It's narrow. It's challenging. It's an extremely technical track. And then you add a little bit of this into it.
But Keegan Kincaid comes over the jump. And once the truck is in the air, obviously you can't control it anymore. He has a lot of speed coming over and looks down and sees everybody stacked up in that hairpin just in front of him. And there's really nothing he can do. Does a good job to go to driver's left and try to avoid the truck in front of him, but eventually he runs out of road.
Robbie Gordon was telling me something earlier this weekend that was very interesting. Because of the short wheelbase of these trucks, Brian, it makes it quite challenging just to get them turned and make them pivot.
And that's why they have that turning brake you'll see on the console beside the gear shift, a turning brake. The other thing is they've got a lot of rear brake bias. A lot of the braking capability is off the rear tires. That helps the truck to turn, but it makes them a little unstable under braking.
All right, so we're up and running, but a little pause at the moment. We'll get things cleaned up, tidied up, and go racing again here at Caesars Palace for SST. Back in Vegas for Stadium Super Trucks. It is the final event of the year, and a championship will be decided tonight. Lee Diffie, Brian Till, Kelly Stavist with you, and we're getting set to go racing again after a brief red flag period after quite a bit of carnage, really, between 3 trucks. And it's PJ Jones who leads the way.
Comes around that last jump through the arch, and PJ really, really looking good here on this very tight circuit. McCachran wants to get by him because he wants to put another truck between himself and Robbie Gordon. Gordon now 4th in the serial in that orange number 7.
Just when you see those different camera angles and shots, it just makes you think here's a really technical section of the track. What an amazing place, what an amazing venue to showcase SST.
Oh, it's fantastic. You've got a great crowd built into the Vegas Strip, and then you bring something exciting like this. And an exciting look at P.J. Jones. Rob McCachran right behind him. Looks like his truck is pretty softly. I'm watching him over the jumps. on some of the landings. He seems to really be able to sit down well. You're on board with P.J. Jones. Look at McCachran over that jump. See how it settles down? Really gets the power down nicely.
Throws it sideways and kind of crabs his way through there. So it's the American racing truck of P.J. Jones who leads the way. Jarrett Brooks in the 77 is doing well in third.
Jarrett Brooks, remember, he's got one win. That was on the permanent circuit, the dirt at Crandon, but this is another one of those talented youngsters that we were talking about earlier. And look, one more time, McCachran with that soft landing off of that jump. You can't do anything if the truck's in the air. You can't make it go. You can't make it stop.
Another red flag.
Although we are making it stop.
Another red flag.
Had a problem somewhere. Let's see.
Is the replay. That's the green truck of Craig Potts. Up.
It's the exact same thing that we saw a little bit earlier.
That was the same as Keaton Kincaid, right?
Yeah. And driver's down, so he's on the left side, so they're talking to the driver, making sure that he's okay in there, and then they're going to have to push that truck back up and over. You want to be somewhat careful because the driver's going to take a big beating when it falls back on all four.
Well, here is that incident in Heat 1 you may remember earlier in the show. Keaton Kincaid early on while leading in Heat 1. This is what happened.
He's up and over. He's going to land on that left front, and once again, you want to turn the truck to the left to get it to come back down. You just don't have the room to do it, so they'll hook up the Polaris and they'll pull Potts back over. Boom. And you see him in the truck. He's moving around. He looks like he's okay. Crew talking to him. He's gotten his belts loose.
Here's the view from Sheldon Creed's truck. He's sitting fifth at the moment in the MagnaFlow machine. And another young man is a couple of positions ahead of him. This one here, Jarrett Brooks, he's in third. Speaking of these two young guys, Kelly caught up with them a little earlier today.
Well, it's Rob McCachran and Robbie Gordon, off-road racing legends who are battling it out for the championship. A couple of guys who have 25 years plus racing experience. But leave it to a couple of 16-year-old kids from Southern California who could steal the spotlight tonight here in Vegas. Jarrett Brooks and Sheldon Creed, both with race wins on the season for you, Jarrett. Not a full season, but I have to imagine that this has been quite the experience.
It's been crazy because, I'm racing with my, dream guys I want to be with, so it's super cool to be racing with them, and then I even got to beat them one time, so it's kind of cool to come out here, not race the full season, just race a couple of races and just race with these guys. It's cool.
All right, and a lot of attention has been paid to Sheldon Creed. 2 race wins on the season for you, Sheldon. There is a championship on hand. Do you plan to be kind of the spoiler tonight?
I guess I'll if I have a chance to win, I'm going to go for it. But then again, if I'm on the back and I can't get around anybody, I guess it's going to be kind of like a wreck fest. But just play it out. However the race goes, it goes. And hopefully I'll be standing on the top of the box at the end of the night.
All right, well, guys, these two have unquestionable talent and seem to have not an ounce of fear out there on the track. It's quite the combination.
Absolutely it is. And, of course, Sheldon Creed on camera right there is our most recent race winner in the Stadium Super Truck Series when we were in Costa Mesa a short while ago. We'll see if he can make it 3 wins on the season, and then that win at the Big House in Crandon for Jarrett Brooks was a very memorable one this year as well.
Remember Sheldon Creed, both of his victories came on tracks that have asphalt. It's exactly what we've got here. So he is very good on the hard stuff. We got a little bumper-to-bumper traffic jam getting ready for the restart. P.J. Jones right there up front, his truck not a mark on it. He's been able to stay clean because he's outrun up front. It'll be interesting to see, though, how patient Rob Mack stays with PJ in front of him. Mack needs to go forward. He needs to separate himself from that man in that orange number 7 right there, Robbie Gordon.
So this 30-lap feature, the season finale, the championship deciding race has been punctuated with a couple of stoppages necessary just to clean things up and rescue missions. We're going to go racing again, though, here at Caesars Palace for Stadium Super Trucks. Let's go. And it's P.J. Jones leaping to the lead.
Jarrett Brooks right behind Rob Mack. And you don't want to see these full course cautions, but you know there's going to be another one that's coming. So you got to be careful. Don't press too hard. Don't put your truck at risk to damage it, because if you do, there's that little bump. If you do, you got a long way to go. And you know that everybody's going to come back to you anyway, so pulling out a big lead, it's not going to do you any good, Lee.
Rob Mack, the championship leader, by 1 point heading into this 30-lapper, sits second in that blue, black and white Traxxas truck. Robbie Gordon is a couple of positions further back, and our race leader in the 98 American racing truck is P.J. Jones.
Oh, Rob Mack gets the end of that K-rail, that concrete, with the inside front tire, and that can damage the steering. Rob Mack with that soft landing. Oh, and loose over that one.
He got hit by Jarrett Brooks. It wasn't a big one, but it was enough to unsettle the Traxxas truck.
Brooks right behind him. Remember, these guys don't care about the championship. Jarrett Brooks, P.J. Jones out in front right now. They want to end the season with a win. P.J. hasn't won yet this season. He wants to go out on top.
There was some body work. Whoa, he gets a little wide there, and that dirt is just enough to unsettle the truck, throw it sideways, and then they jump sideways over it. It's spectacular to watch. There was a big chunk of bodywork on the track back there. The guys ran over and then eventually got discarded, pushed off to the side.
I don't think it's the first or the last piece of debris
there it
that
is,
we're
there
going
it
to
is
see.
right there.
You can see that K-rail, the concrete wall, has been pushed out a little bit. These trucks hitting it, and you got to be concerned with that. Those sharp edges will damage the suspension. They'll cut a tire, and you've got to be careful. Remember, there's going to be another full course caution at the 2/3 mark.
Look at that control. Beautiful from Rob McCachran going through that corner. But I have to say, P.J. Jones is looking very comfortable and smooth. He's got some good rhythm up front.
I have not seen P.J. drive this well all year long. He's not put a wheel wrong. The problem right now is he's going to have traffic in front of him. Potts in that green truck right in front. Remember, he was on his head just a little while ago. P.J.'s not the most patient driver out there, but he's going to have to be patient to work past Potts. The problem is he's got Rob Mack right behind him.
You saw the gap from third back to the fourth place, Robbie Gordon. Championship contender and could win it tonight. Is it going to be a Rob Mack or Robbie Gordon night?
Oh, PJ trying to get past Potts, and this shows you just how difficult it is to pass. Potts considerably slower than PJ Jones, but PJ just cannot get around him.
And that area that you saw them, there's Scotty Steele and Kyle Leduc. Leduc has stopped.
Yep. Steele has gotten bottled up behind him. PJ managed to slip through, and Robbie Gordon has picked up a position. He's now right behind Rob Mack.
Caution's out. We may see another stoppage here for them to go and rescue Kyle Leduc. Yes, we do. Understandable. Wonder what happened. This might tell us a little more. Look for the monster machine. There it is.
It looks like the truck just loses power. It rolls straight ahead. Scotty Steele is going to be coming up in your shot here in just a minute. He'll get on the outside. This is on board with Leduc. He's on the rev limiter up in the air. That's not at all uncommon. You see the dashboard over there is still lit, so the truck still has electricity. What it doesn't have doesn't sound like it has power. Yeah, but there's no power steering. Something wrong with the steering up front. See how tight the steering wheel is?
Yeah, Kyle's giving it no, we're done.
So for our Heat 1 race winner, man, the final didn't go well.
No, it didn't. Got off to a great start. It's good to see him in the series too. Meanwhile, these guys are still at it at the front. Robbie Gordon now with a clear view of Rob McCachran.
And as long as Rob Mack can stay in front of Gordon, he's okay in the championship. But, I mean, there was only 1 point separating him when we came in. Robbie Gordon may have a passing point because he's gotten past Jarrett Brooks. Essentially, it could be tied right now. Rob Mack, whatever he does, has to stay in front of that orange number 7. I love the way he's landing the truck as they come through that arch jump. Rob Mack with that soft landing really gets the power down. All year long, he's run a truck pretty soft. He likes that suspension soft in the back. It really seems to be working for him here at Caesars.
This section of the track, as we ride on board the Speed Energy machine, is very challenging to go from one direction to the next in a very short space of time. We've got a traffic jam again.
Keegan Kincaid involved. Scotty Steele. Ari Lyondike, I think, was the orange truck that we saw.
There he is. 25 is Ari Jr. and just gets nailed.
This gets ugly.
Poor old Ari's been in a couple of incidents. That's looking very ugly.
Just drive into this. It looks like they're hooked up. You can't get away. Lyondike in the orange truck through the tree. All right, well, there's one camera down. On board with Lyondike. Look at this. With Potts side by side over the jump. You don't want to do that. Then he gets nailed. A lot of contact. Lyondike says, hey, I think I'll try it all over again. So he does the spin around.
There's Kincaid and Steele up ahead, and that's where Brian, you were saying.
Watch this.
Ari Jr. says that's a little payback for earlier on.
That's what their front bumper's for.
And they have been using it. These trucks are strong, but maybe not that strong. So they've been beaten up tonight, and it's been a pretty rugged one for Keegan Kincaid. More SST from Vegas when we come back here on NBCSN. There's a title on the line in Las Vegas for the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks for 2013. Very first year of the series, and it has been a very successful one, going to a wide range of venues all over the country, all types of racing surfaces, and all types of winners as well.
Well, and that's what's been awesome. You started at Phoenix in a stadium, all dirt. We raced on the streets of Toronto along with the Indy cars, and now we're going to end the season right here in Vegas, back to green. Rob McCackron with that orange number panel, the 21, he's got to stay in front of Robbie Gordon, who is right behind him, Lee.
So, two guys in the top three. One of them is going to be champion at the end of the night. Great job, PJ Jones. He has raced a really good one tonight. And there's that section where you've got to flick it one way and flick it the next in a very short space of time. It's tough on these guys.
I think right now, PJ Jones has the setup on the truck. The truck looks stable. He can transition it side to side very quickly like you talked about, and that's going to pay big dividends here. You don't want to give somebody an opening to shove a front fender in some of these tight sections like we see right here. And right now, PJ, Gordon gets hit.
Jarrett Brooks gave Robbie Gordon a little tap there and sent him sideways. There's your race leader, Rob Mack. Robbie Gordon's able to get away from the youngsters because it's still Jarrett Brooks and Sheldon Creed running in the top 5. You can see the front of Brooks' truck. It's got quite a bit of damage on it.
Not only are the trucks taking a beating around here, the drivers having to work really hard. Even though it's such a short track, it's got a lot of twists and turns, so the drivers are working hard inside those trucks right now, using that turning brake. Big hits, even though this isn't a very fast corner, your body takes a load there on the left side, and you're always working. You're trying to control that 600 horsepower. Remember, these are DOT-approved tires. These are tires that you would put on your truck and drive on the street or off-road. Toyo and Yokohama doing a great job building a tire that will hold up to this type of punishment.
PJ Jones, the race leader, he races on Yokohama. Rob McCackron, who sits second, he races on the Toyo. Oh, drama here. What's happening here? That's Rob McCackron.
It's Rob McCackron. McCackron looks like he's lost either power or drive. He pulls straight into the pits. I can't tell if the engine is still running. It is.
And his hand up in the air, he's like, can you believe this? That is our championship leader has come to a halt.
So it's some type of a drive issue. He still has power to the engine. It's either going to be a drive shaft or an axle. He had such a soft landing with that truck as he comes underneath the arch jump each time. I thought that his truck was really set up well to take the punishment of this 30-lap main, but don't really know quite yet what it is. But anyway, you look at...
Oh, Robbie Gordon! Oh! Robbie Gordon, just as our championship leader goes out, Robbie Gordon rolls it while in second place and gets going again.
And he's hurt. Truck down on the right front. Is it just the tire or is it suspension? Looks like it may be just the tire. He comes to the pits.
Robbie had been taking a far greater inside line through that jump section than everybody else.
Oh, there it is.
He gets the front right off the jump. That's what spat him over.
And he gets very lucky. Danny Sullivan did the spin and win in Indy. Robbie Gordon may do the roll and win a championship at Caesars Palace.
He ended up hitting the wall. Look, that's what tipped him over.
Yeah, he gets that right front into the end of the K-rail, and it just flips the truck on over.
Whoa. That is graphic.
Rolls back on all 4 wheels. Never misses a beat. Picks right up. And off we go. Oh. I tell you, what he's lucky is it looks like just a tire perhaps right now, Lee, but you can tell how hard the hit is. You got to wonder about the suspension on the right front.
Big drama in Vegas with both of our championship contenders. Who's going to come out of this one on top? As we welcome you back to the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks in Las Vegas, I'm still kind of coming to grips with what has gone down in the last few moments. This is Rob McCackron, championship leader.
He just loses drive off the corner. The engine's still running on the truck, so it's either a drive shaft or an axle. I'm going to think axle because it has a little bit of drive.
Right.
If the drive shaft were broken, it wouldn't move at all. It does move, but it doesn't move at speed. Then just 2 laps later,
this dramatic scenes involving Robbie Gordon, who is fighting Rob McCackren for that championship. Look at him hit the wall there. It just tips him on his lid.
And while it's cut down the tire on the right front, the suspension, you've got to be concerned about because he hits that concrete wall, that K-rail, very, very hard. Could have easily fractured one of the bolts in the suspension piece. He's going to run it a little bit more. Every time it takes a pounding over one of those jumps, it could break.
Pretty wild stuff in Vegas. And look at this from Robbie Gordon's truck. Is it night and championship over?
Did he hole a radiator when he hit that wall? Did it get a radiator line? It's leaking fluid like crazy. This championship is far from over. We got another 10 to 12 laps here in the main event. I'm telling you, Lee, I mean, it's going to go down to the last lap. Anything could happen, and we're going to go back racing. How far can Robbie Gordon go?
Just incredible scenes here at Caesars Palace for the season finale. And more than two trucks and drivers have had trouble, but can you believe that it involved McCackren and Gordon? We go on board with Robbie now.
Up and over the jumps. One good thing for Gordon is you see him bringing up the rear of the field. These cool desert nights are going to help with the temperature a little bit. These engines are working hard around this short track, and the temperatures are going to start spiking. They're going to go up. Can he make it all the way through? Now, he doesn't have to. If Rob McCackren is out, Gordon can just continue to run. But if I'm Rob McCackren, I'm going to be looking at it saying, can I get back out and limp around?
Exactly.
How many laps can I do?
Two speed trucks here. Ari Leindyke Jr. gives a wide berth and lets Robbie Gordon through so he can continue on with this championship fight. And at the moment, the balance of power has swung Robbie Gordon's way.
Yeah, but I'm worried about the truck. Not only the suspension hit on the right front as you ride on board with Ari Leindyke, but also that fluid that we saw out from underneath it. Robbie Gordon's truck, 12 more laps around this racetrack, it could be asking a lot of it.
Big boys' toys in Vegas. This has been fantastic. What a way to farewell the 2013 season and championship, and it's not over, as Brian mentioned. Robbie Gordon still in the hunt. Rob McCackren back in the pit area, getting his Traxxas truck worked on so he can get back out there and take the fight. There he is in the background. Rob Mack just goes through over the back there, so good to see him back out on track.
So Rob Mack is out. He's back out on the racetrack, 7 laps down, we're being told. So he's back out there hoping that Robbie Gordon has a problem. Every time Gordon comes over that big jump where they fly the flower bed, that suspension's going to take a pounding. Not only that, if he has cracked or damaged that radiator, every time he comes down and hits, it's going to make that problem even worse. He's going to have to nurse this truck around to the finish.
The white truck up ahead is the second place Jarrett Brooks. So despite all of his troubles, Robbie has completed enough laps, and there's the ailing Rob McCackren. That is heartbreaking for the man who hails from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah, but it's not over. I mean, it's like I keep saying, every time I see Robbie Gordon and the sparks come out from underneath that truck when it hits, you got to think about the suspension and what it's going through. If it does end up this way, if Gordon does end up winning this championship, it's not the way he wanted to win it.
Right.
That's for sure. He wanted to race hard to the end, but I say if, because we still have another handful of laps to go.
And Robbie is racing hard. Look at him now, really putting the pressure on Jarrett Brooks. Thinks about an inside move, just nudges him, and Robbie is on maximum attack. There is no nursing this to the finish. He is going to race it to the finish.
Well, and you could say why? Why take a risk like that? But I wonder, too, if when he saw Rob Mack have the problem, if he kind of lost concentration a little bit, hit that wall, did the roll, and he's saying, look, I need to get back on track
groove,
in my mind. I got to get back in my groove.
And he gets second right in front of the guy that he's fighting the championship with, Rob McCackren, who stayed well out of the way and well wide. So Robbie now up to second.
You don't want to lose your concentration like we were saying, Lee. Maybe that's what Gordon did, and he feels like I need to get back to maximum attack, so I have to stay focused.
I love this. What a shot. What a shot. Leaping the hedges there.
Great car control by Gordon. We've seen it all year long. Nice slide around the left, then the right. Here's the turn that gave him such problems. The truck sits down smoothly through there, and I'm not seeing any smoke out of it, Lee. It doesn't appear to be overheating. I would say I don't see any fluid, but I think all the fluid's already gone.
And as we put an eye on 2014, there's the white flag. 1 lap to go in the 2013 season. PJ Jones has just been fantastic in Vegas.
And he has been so close all year long. And perhaps tonight, with just a few more corners to go, PJ Jones is going to take a victory. He's been so quick, like I said, all year long, Lee. This one will be well-deserved.
That's fantastic. He's seen one of his arch rivals, Justin Lofton, win. Now it's time for a new winner in SST. Getting all the bucks is PJ Jones, but how about the championship bucks? That's where the focus is. Robbie Gordon now knows he's got it. The champion for the very first time in the series he founded, Robbie Gordon, is number one in 2013 for SST.
And that has to take a weight off of his shoulders. You see Gordon is going to do some victory donuts here. Remember, he's the promoter. He's responsible for all of this. He's responsible for all the trucks that get built. He's responsible for racing hard as well. And Robbie Gordon, with the season over, maybe he can finally breathe a sigh of relief, Lee.
He has worked so hard, and he is very grateful, very thankful to the guys who have competed in the series against him and given him a hard time. But as we congratulate the Speed Energy truck of Robbie Gordon, we have to spare a thought for Rob McCachran.
Yeah, you know, McCachran has raced so well all year long.
Look at PJ.
4 wins for McCachran on the season. Remember, he didn't run in the Sand Sports Super Show event.
Which was 3 races.
Which was 3 races.
Yeah.
And perhaps he's looking back now saying, hey, Keegan Kincaid did a good job for me there, but maybe I should have been in that truck.
Yeah, he was just a little bit worn out. He was tired. There is the champion for the 2013 Speed Energy Stadium Super Truck Series. He knew that that wasn't guaranteed. He had to fight for it. Nobody who competed in this series was going to give it to Robbie Gordon easily. And look at how tired he looks. That one was a tough one. 30 laps around a very demanding track. We'll hear from him when we come back. It's party time in Vegas. Robbie Gordon, PJ Jones celebrating for different reasons. And as you can see, Kelly is standing by there with our 2 winners, one of the race, one of the championship. We'll get to Kelly in just a moment, but first, the final points.
Robbie Gordon, 7 over Rob McCachran, and we talked about it, the last 3 rounds at the Sand Sports Super Show. Maybe Rob Mack looking back on that saying, I should have been there. And then today, the mechanical problem, that's what really was the icing on the cake for Robbie Gordon.
Down to those 2, and Robbie Gordon comes out on top as the champion. Can't wait to hear what he's got to say. So let's go to him now with Kelly Stavist.
Well, Robbie, I don't know how much fluid is left in your truck, but unbelievable finish. You are the champion. What does this moment mean?
You know, it's a bummer because I wanted to have a good fight with Rob, and I don't know what happened to his truck. And then I'm like, all right, well, I got this one, and I guess I must have taken my eye off just a little bit. I got sideways, clipped that inside barrier, and it spiraled me, and they landed so hard, I guess it broke the back of the frame, but they said they picked all the water out of it. But I figured, you know, when I saw Rob come back out, I made the right decision to stay out and just keep running and try to do the best job we could.
How tough was this track on the trucks?
Oh my God! Thank God we have 5 months before the first race in March next year. But it was a rad race. It was carnage. When I said that after the heat race, it was going to be total carnage. It was total carnage.
They're still going out here. Can't get enough. We got donuts happening in the background.
He's trying to buy that truck.
Congratulations to you, Robbie.
Thank you. Just stoked. I mean, stoked that we had a great crowd like we had tonight, and it was a lot of fun. You know, it's like I said, I wish that Rob and me, we were set up to have a really good battle, and I just don't know what happened to his truck, and it's really unfortunate.
Robbie says he's glad there's 5 months between now and when the 2014 season starts. Well, in between that, he's going to compete in the Dakar Rally again. He never stops working or racing. We'll hear from our race winner when we come back. Back to the strip here in Las Vegas, where we've just witnessed a pretty spectacular season finale. Let's hear from our race winner.
Right, better late than never. PJ Jones picks up his first Stadium Super Trucks win right here in Vegas. PJ, you had the pole position. Looked like most of the action was going on in your rearview mirror.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I had the right spot to start, and that was probably what won us the race. I mean, we were fast, but so was Robbie, so was Rob McCracken, so was, Creed and the Brooks. So, I mean, like I said, I mean, all these guys are good. And, to be able to win here, I felt like we were, pretty close in some of the other places and, either messed up myself or just didn't get the right break. So I just want to thank American Racing Wheels, Air Raid, and obviously Robbie Gordon for having the vision to keep this going and his passion and his love and everything he's done for all of us drivers.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
A nice way to end the season. It hadn't been the easiest one for PJ, to finish with a win like he has, nice way to wrap it up.
Yeah, 3 podium finishes coming into the weekend. It's been so close. He said it, we said it. Well, guess what? Gets to leave the season with a victory.
And in amongst all that carnage, Scotty Steele managed to finish on the podium in 3rd place. That's a terrific way to finish the year for a talented young driver. Here he is.
Scotty Steele, just 15 years old, first Stadium Supertruck event. You end up here on the podium. Pretty impressive considering you're going up some of the best in off-road racing.
I mean, we had 2 of the best people out in front of me, so it was one of the best feelings I've ever had, especially because we're in Vegas. Like, Caesar's Palace on the strip, it's insane.
How did you make it happen? There was so much carnage out there. How did you survive?
We just said, live to the end, and you should be able to work out a podium, and, well, we did. So
it worked out as planned. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And that youthful face needs to go to bed. You can't play up in Vegas now. You're not old enough yet, Scotty.
Even he looked like he didn't believe that he had finished on the podium. He looked shocked by the whole thing. But what a great event for him. I mean, look around. Vegas, Robbie Gordon Stadium Supertrucks, 15 years old.
Yeah, it's incredible. And one of the big stories, if not the story of tonight, involved the Traxxas truck and the man from Las Vegas, Rob McCachran. This is where he saw his championship evaporate.
And I just don't see it. He's so good to the truck. We talked about the setup that was on it. So good, soft with the landings, but still looks like something in the drivetrain.
Yeah, and you saw the frustration from within the cockpit. It's time to hear from Rob Mack. Ended up 2nd in the championship.
It was a broken axle that ended Rob McCachran's day and his championship run. Must be a heartbreaking way to go out.
Yeah, it is, but it's been a successful year. We won 4 of the SST races. We led the championship, all but 2 rounds, the one in the middle and the last one, the one that counts. So, but the guys at Traxxas, they thanks to Mike Jenkins and the whole guys, everybody over there for letting me drive this truck. And we really wanted to get this championship, but we broke an axle and we had nothing there. We tried to limp it around there at the end. It looked like Robbie was having some problems too, so we took it back out of the pits and got out there trying to do laps. But he was still running, so we knew it, and thankfully we came home with the 2nd for Traxxas and the guys.
All right, great season. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, congratulations to Rob Mack. I mean, he has won so many off-road racing trophies and titles. He's a Hall of Famer, but he really wanted to get this one. There's Kyle LeDuc on the left there. He enjoyed himself. He was a heat winner, but he was taken out of the feature quite early.
Yeah, he was, but how impressive was he in that heat win? It was good to see new drivers coming in. 6 different race winners on the season. 2 of those race winners, Lee, well, Sheldon Creed, Jarrett Brooks, 16 years old, each one of them. And Sheldon Creed, one of those drivers that you look for, 2 wins on the year. Jarrett Brooks and even 15-year-old Scotty Steele, a podium finish in the last round.
Stadium Supertrucks came to Vegas and rocked it. What a night. What a display to showcase what the Speed Energy Stadium Supertruck Series is all about.
Well, what a night, but what a year. Robbie Gordon had a dream. He looked at Mickey Thompson, who was his hero growing up, and he emulated him, and he's built a series. He'll go in the offseason, he'll manipulate it, he'll work on it, he'll polish it, and he'll come back in 2014. It will be even better, but really spectacular stuff that we saw in the inaugural season.
Very ambitious, but he has pulled it off. There it is. Year number 1 of SST is now in the books. And Robbie Gordon, the series founder, perhaps appropriately, is the series' first champion. What a year. That's what he'll say when he looks back on it, and should be very proud. So on behalf of Kelly Stavis and Brian Till, I'm Lee Diffie saying thanks for watching SST, not only right here now, but the entire year on NBC SN. Time to enjoy the off-season.